Welcome to a look at this renewed mod map on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. It's here, SOSNOVKA. This is so weird. I was only talking about this the other day. Bjornholm dropped the other day, which was the first map I played on FS15, and I did mention SOSNOVKA. Now this on FS15 on console for me, well, for everyone on console on FS15, this dropped as the gold DLC map. So on FS15 we had Bjornholm, Westbridge Hills, and then the third map we got on FS15 was this as the gold DLC. On FS17 we had Goldcrest Valley and this as the base game maps. The funny thing is, or the weird thing about it is, because it had been the gold DLC on FS15, on FS17, because Goldcrest Valley was the new map, a lot of people kind of shied away from playing on this one because they'd already played it on FS15 and, you know. But the weird thing is now we're FS19, we're a long way down the road on FS19. This has dropped, and I'll be honest, I'm exactly the same. So this is brilliant. It's a really, really great map. It's been nicely converted over. This is by GTX. We use 414.33 megabytes. And what I like about it, which some people might not like about it, is the nostalgia to it, because what he's done, I say he, what they've done is try to keep it as original as possible with all the FS19 details and things that we can do now with the graphics and the lighting and all that kind of thing. But it does say very clearly in the mods hub that the buildings and animal pens in all three play modes are purchased with the farmland and cannot be removed. They're in place, but there have been a load of things added in. So whilst they've tried to keep that nostalgic feel and keep it as original as possible, I think as far as I can tell the original layout is exactly the same. Buildings and roads, this is what the website mod hub says, buildings and roads are the same, sell points are in the same locations, transport missions are the same, but then things have been changed. There's a new silo extension been added, grass and hay icons, farmhouse with sleep trigger, because before on FS15 we couldn't sleep through the night on console. There's a new purchase point at the village grain point, which we're going to have a look at as well. So, you know, if you've never played on this, it's a cracking map. Again, the hours I put onto this map on FS15 was absolutely mind-boggling. And I'm really liking what's been done with it. Well, I say what's been done with it. I suppose the argument could be, well, nothing's been done with it, but it has. There's a lot more gone into it. The conversion over isn't as straightforward, but graphically you can tell it's crisper, it's cleaner, it's tidier. Anyway, we'll get round in a second. Let's have a look at the map. So this is the map. So, on the map, what do we start with on New Farmer? Well, pretty much like in the old days, we start off with, let's just click off that again, we start with field 19 and field 14. This is the sort of main farm area, I guess. We've got a workshop just here, which we're going to have a look at in a second. The bale barn sell point is just there, and we've got a couple of other triggers. We've got a diesel point, and we've got the farm silo, which is just there. We do start with things in the farm silo on New Farmer. There are a lot of sell points. So the addition here is the fact that we've got the farmhouse, which we didn't have before, with sleep trigger. We'll have a look at that in a moment. And this is where the cow pen, the cow pasture is. Now, one thing to be aware of on this version of it, to have the animals where they are in place, you need to buy the land. And on that note, land isn't cheap. To buy the section here for the cows and the little bit of land above that, 485 grand. Field prices are pretty high, 399, 397, 358. I think the smallest plot I found, that was 105. I think I found one for 90 something. It might have been up here at field 9. Yeah, 91 grand I think was one of the cheapest. Now on the map, all the areas that are dark green are bits that can be purchased. Forestry up there. But these bits that are lighter green, I'm clicking now R3 and nothing's happening. So the bits that are light green you can't buy, the peripheral bits around the map, but any of the bits that are dark green you can. Although I know a lot of people like to use the periphery for, you know, whatever it be, a little bit of extra forestry or grass cutting or whatever it is. But on this one, you can't, which is fair enough. The other thing I'm really pleased with is it's still got that kind of start feel that you had on FS15. That when you were kind of, well, I was new to the game on 15, you got the harvester set out by the field ready to go, and it was ready to go. It was like that introduction thing of you'd come on and it was like, this is the field you own, this is what you've got to harvest, there's your machinery, off you go. I like that that's still there. The wild grass texture has been kind of updated a bit but left as it was. Can still be mowed, that kind of thing. But I think it says in the mod tab that if you plant grass, it's regular. I don't think you get the wild grass when you plant. But it can be cut and used. So as far as the animals go, as I was saying, you do need to own this before any of the triggers will come up. The door here will open and close. It has an animation, but again, you need to own it first. So bear with me just a moment. Okay, so we go back into the menu here, click on that, 485,956. If we buy the land, you'll see up there we've now got the triggers popped up for the cows themselves, so we now own that bit of land and the pasture has appeared. If we go up to this now, we get the animation for the doors. Feed trough is down the inside. We've got our slurry point and manure point are just there. I'm not sure actually what this hazard marked area is for, unless it's for straw, which would be unusual. Is that just slurry point? I don't think it's a line point. It's a bit of an odd one, that. But up the side we do have, up the side at the end, the water trigger, and the dialogue box is on the end too, so the water trigger is just there, and our dialogue box for buying, selling, loading or unloading is just in the end here, like so. Now what we will also do, let's close that, we'll talk about mods, because it seems like the right opportunity to talk about them at this point. So if we go across to our placeables, we have got a load of mods added in by GTX that fit the map, that are, you know, kind of right for the map. Now, as I said, the animal pastures that are in place are fixed in place, but these are additional ones you can add in, and I think this gives us the actual capacities of what we've got already anyway, because these are the ones that are in place already. There is a large chicken coop we'll get to, that will hold 500 chickens. That's been greatly expanded from the one that was previously on the game. The cow pasture we've just bought will hold 400, but that's an additional one you can add in. The pig enclosure will do 400, and the sheep pasture will do 500. So those are in addition to. I think under silos, we've got the large grain silo, which I think is the one we start with. Pretty sure we've got. And these take regular crops, these aren't multi-fruit. There's the large silo extension, which has been added in, and the bunker silo large. Again, these all fit the map. They're kind of textured exactly sort of correctly. I don't think there's anything under decoration. The farmhouse is the farmhouse we have. 94 grand, sleep through the night trigger. Again, you can take that or leave it, it's entirely up to you. Vehicle shelter and large storage shelter we have there as well. I thought we had a workshop one, but maybe I dreamt that. Maybe that was under miscellaneous. Yes, of course it was. There was a whole load under miscellaneous. Water station, seed tank, fertiliser tank, diesel storage, gas station, and vehicle workshop. I knew that was there as well. So there's a whole load of mods been put in as well. Absolutely fantastic. What we'll do is whiz across to the farmhouse while we're over this side as well. And then we'll whiz around the map. There's a lot of sell points and stuff to get in. If you have played on this map before, everything will feel very familiar. There are some tweaks, some texture things here and there, and like I said, I think because the colour palette is slightly different, and 19, you know, has different, well, everything's different really, isn't it, graphically. So there's a farmhouse, trigger is just there. I'll be honest with you, I'm finding it a lot harder doing the map tour at the moment. As I mentioned in the video I did yesterday, if you watched it you may not have done, because I'm away at the moment with my wife, I'm not on my workstation. I haven't got all my stuff around me. I don't have my side panel. You know, all the stuff I usually use for doing the mod reviews. The TV screen where I'm staying is right across the other side of the room, and I probably have mentioned before, my eyesight is terrible, so I'm really struggling. So I'll do the best I can. I do apologise if it seems a little bit hit and miss. Right, we're going to grab a tractor. So our silo is here. Under there, and then we do have the two seed and fertiliser refill points are here, but there are modded ones you can add in as well. And then we've got the barn cell point, it's just across here, so there's our barn cell point. So the main silo for us is there, that's the barn cell point. And our workshop is just in here. Oh, that had a pit before. Oh, I've taken out the pit. Oh well. It's a minor thing, but there's your workshop trigger. We'll grab the starer. Actually, while we're here as well, when we're grabbing the first piece of machinery, we'll talk about the machinery as well. So, what do we start with? We start with an Armour Track 1104, the Starer ST Max 180, the Bison Super Z056, Strapman trailer, header for the Bison, cultivator, seeder. We do have the fertiliser and seed tank, and that's it. I thought we had the farmhouse as well. Was the farmhouse not movable then? Oh, I thought we owned that. Oh, must be losing my mind. If you come onto this on New Farmer, as I am for the map tour, it will use 459 out of 1299 slots, which I think is pretty impressive on console for the size of the map and the detail and that kind of thing. On Farm Manager, you only use 387. The buildings and stuff are all still in place, but you don't start with any of the equipment. You don't start with the fertiliser and seed silo. You don't start with any of that, so it drops to 387. And the same on start from scratch. It's 387 out of 1299 slots used, which is fantastic. Really low slot count, and it gives you plenty of scope to do whatever you want to do. There is so much on this map that I loved, because it gave you that real kind of feel. The hangars, I mean, they are hangars at the end of the day, with bits missing, and it all looks kind of dated and old, and fantastic. I'm trying to work out the route round I'm going to go, and the route round I was going to take will miss out something that I wanted to show, which again was one of those features I always loved. I don't know why I did, it was just one of those things. When we come across the middle section here, and we've got a little bridge across the river, the rickety old bridge here was just fantastic. And it has remained. So the river comes down from that section there and splits here. The thing I wanted to show quickly is the ford, the crossing point here. Does make life a little bit easier if you're trying to get to certain places, but where those pipes are in the water, although the actual crossing point itself seems to have been kind of, it's still here but not as obvious as it was. The water's not very deep here at all, so you can actually ford across here where it's a little bit lighter there in the middle. So there is a crossing point there, and the bridge that I wanted to show. If you go too far into the darker bits, it says you're going too deeply, that kind of thing. So we're going to head down and around. Yeah, we'll head south first, down towards the biomass heating plant, the freight yard. Again, this is one of those ones that, thinking back to FS15, when you had the levers at the train yards, so if you put stuff onto the train, and at the Lumberyard as well, and you pulled the lever and the train went off. Happy memories come flooding back. So, let's head south. Actually, my tractor's not that much faster than the cars, but I'm sure we'll be fine. This was the first map where I broke my PlayStation On FS15 there was no slot count and there was no limit to anything. And I remember being new to the game and coming on here, and I had a setup of everything I needed at every area. So I had all my planters, my seeders, my planters, my cultivators, my ploughs, harvesting equipment, tractors, trailers. I had a setup in every part of the map, and I think it got to the point I overloaded it so much with so much equipment. It didn't corrupt the file, but it wouldn't load properly. I couldn't get anything to work properly. So in the end it was just a case of deleting a load of stuff. Again, I was new to the game, I didn't really know what had caused any of the problem. Once I deleted a load of stuff, it ran absolutely perfectly. I suppose another reason why the slot count was introduced, to stop things like that happening, because it wasn't too easy to just get everything. So on the right hand side here we've got the biomass heating plant. This will take your wood chips. I think we can do, yeah, I'm pretty sure we can do lumber here as well. So we've got a lumber sell point just here, but the wood chip point was just here for the biomass. Did it do both before? I'm trying to think. It seems like such a long time ago. So there's the prices there. For wood chips, that will fluctuate like they do on every map. Main sell points on here, we have got the grain elevator, the mill, transport company, vegetable warehouse, village grain elevator. The freight yard will take some things, mainly your root crops, sugarcane as well, which we're going to head down to in a minute. Just trying to see, does the crane work? No, I haven't. I've done a quick check on a couple of things here. No, it's not letting me go into that. Ah, I know normally it has a little icon down the bottom if it does. But because I kind of know the map, I thought I don't need to go around the whole map, we could just whiz round. Now I'm thinking maybe I should have done. So we do have a fuel point. Fuel station. Just there. As we come round. No, I've gone the wrong way. Don't worry. Down round the back here. So we are now, having come all the way down here, down past the biomass, fuel station, we've gone round the back and we're at the mill. The freight yard is just down there with the railway line running across. So that's the mill sell point. There used to be a lever on the wall just there. Gutted they got rid of the levers. I'm going to cut across again. Across the railway line. And we'll go to the freight yard that takes the root crops. It's amazing driving around, just looking at it from the point of view of the graphics and stuff, and how far it's come and how much crisper and cleaner it looks. It's that kind of night and day of, you know, needing to wear glasses, putting on glasses, and suddenly going, wow, it's amazing, I can see. You know, I know, not that on FS15 it was blurry and you couldn't see anything, but obviously the graphics have improved massively. So there we go. There's our sale point at the freight yard. So what we're going to do now is head back up to the roundabout. We're going to head down towards where the sheep pasture is, which is down here. Grain elevator and across. We do have up here the garden centre and spinnery, so I'm just trying to work out the best route round to get all of that in, because I don't want to miss anything, and there are some bits in the middle which I'll try to get in. So I'm already thinking on this again. It's hours in the day to do it all. but with the new Urals we've had out, the lizard trucks, and you know the various different Sea Tours and Ursus, and you know, yeah, you could do a cracking let's play. Maybe this or Bjornholm again. It's like, oh, I don't know. Oh, all of a sudden everyone's arrived. Better go the right way around this time, otherwise we'll get in trouble. So I'll speed up. Maybe not. Oh, I just can't stop smiling. The weird thing about it is as well, I'm a grown man and I've been doing this 5 years, 6 years, I'm trying to think how long now. But it makes you feel like a child. It makes you like, oh, you know, coming back on this when I was a kid. I wasn't a kid. I wasn't a kid when I started playing this, but it makes you feel like that, which is amazing. So the sheep pen pasture is just here. We have a big old bunker silo. Our dialogue box is here, but again, we need to own it, so just bear with me a second. So, just sold the cow pasture and bought this one. So, buy, sell, load or unload. Okay, it's just there. Around this side, we've got water trough and feed trough. This will hold, did I say 500? I think it was 500. And your wool spawn point is just here. More of these can be added in. One thing I haven't checked is, actually, you know what? Let's have a quick check. Since I own the land now. Ah, terrain can't be modified. What about textures? Oh, there we go. Right, just want to check the grass texture. Alright, so if you do the landscaping texture for grass, it will give you the wild grass that you get around the edges of the map, rather than planted or seeded grass, so you can get the wild grass texture. I don't always do it on every Let's Play, on every map tour. I suppose I should really, just look at the various textures available. The grass one is the one that I think for most people, the other textures people can live with, you know, for if you're going to do some landscaping and things. The grass one can obviously, for a lot of people, be a major issue if you want to do landscaping and change things around, and if the grass texture is that flat one that has no actual, you know, substance to it, for a lot of people that can often be a, you know what, I'm not interested, so I'm glad that that's got the grass texture. Right, another fuel station just down here. We are heading west across the southern part of the map. Next sell point is just here. Was this the grain elevator? I'm trying to think back. All that time ago. Yeah, the grain elevator. So we're at the grain elevator. I'm just trying to think what I might do. We'll whiz across the lumberyard and I'll cut across maybe. We'll do the garden centre spinnery, then back out to the outside track. Yeah, I need to just try and work out a route round I can take it all in. Grain elevator just here. I'm wondering if any of these bits have been... This just seems to me much higher up on the landscape. So I'm wondering if anything has been changed, whether this has been kind of made deeper, or... Again, it could just be, you know... Just could be old age, you know. Our memory's not what it used to be. Now the lumberyard, for me, was where on FS15 was where I made my money. To get going, to start off, it was doing lumber. Because of that thing of loading the train up and you would send it off, you'd get paid, and when it arrived at its destination you'd get a second payment. It always paid out quite well. And I always remember planting trees, letting them grow, then spending hours cutting them down, loading the train up, sending them off. You know, it's incredible to think again how much time I spent. So the lumberyard is right here. Sale point is just there. What I'm going to do now is cut across. So just before we get to the bridge, take a right to the garden centre. I think the trees seem sparser. Again, that could just be my memory, but it just looks more kind of open. But again, that could be the graphics as well. So, that's interesting. Is that a refill point? Sure looks like it. Garden centre sell point is just here. I suppose the only downside, the one thing I am thinking in my head as I'm going round, if I click on that again, is all these bits on the periphery where you've got all of these, the sell points, those kind of things. Where if you were doing a storyline and you wanted to add in a bit of, you know, extra something, you know, the ability to put placeables down to add an extra kind of element of immersion, because you can't own any of these, you won't be able to place anything on them. Because I'm just looking here at the garden centre in my mind, thinking about, you know, things that could be placed, something to add, you know, pallets and things that you could put down maybe. But I suppose that is one drawback of it. Back out to the main road. I mean, it is a testament to the map originally in its FS19 form, that the level of detail has been improved upon, but all the features and things that were here on the map already. I know the 17 version did add a load of things in and change a load of things, because the other thing I forgot on the Bjornholm map tour, when I was saying about I couldn't remember where the pigs were, FS15 we didn't have pigs on console. We only got pigs on 17, didn't we? And that's my mind. It didn't even dawn on me. Because on FS15 you could buy a chicken coop, but you couldn't buy chickens. It just had chickens in it, and you would then go around and collect the eggs. But it was only on 17 you had the ability to buy them and sell them and have as many as you wanted, as far as I recall. Spinnery sell point is just here. I'm just going to check the map of the best route out across. Yeah, if I go directly across and up. So we're at the spinnery, we're just on the garden centre, across the river there. I'm going to go out to the fuel point, up to the transport company. We'll cut across. Did I mention the biogas plant? Biogas plant is fairly pricey, $577,000 to buy the biogas plant. If you want to be able to use it, you need to buy it. If I recall correctly, that's got some massive bunker silos. And I think it had something like 4 or 5 originally. I remember again spending hours filling those up. Forage harvester with 4 or 5 Flegel bull trailers linked up behind, all full, all taking stuff out there. Oh, it's amazing. Anyway, Next fuel station, just here, on our right. We're now on the western side of the map, heading north. I always liked the fact the buildings were huge. It was that off the back of the kind of Soviet era cooperatives that were owned by the state, run by the people, and as it all kind of fell apart and things fell into disrepair, and people took up the reins and did what they could, but in a lot of situations without kind of government backing, it was a lot harder to do. And the buildings are huge, I love it. I really do love it. So, transport company is where we're at now. We're going to cut into the biogas plant. Yeah, we'll be right then. There is another fuel station. There are no shortage of fuel stations on this map. We'll cut across biogas plant because this section here is where the pigs are, or at least will be. Actually, while I'm here, what I will do is sell that back. So that will give me the funds I need to buy the pig farm. Biogas plant, when you own it, pays out pretty much all of them do at the moment. I think it pays $360 for silage. I know those prices can fluctuate, but I'm pretty sure the biogas plant ones stay pretty stable. Nice big open spaces, no fences and hedges in the way. I know people like people like to go for a big open American map. This was one of those ones that it kind of gave you that same feel and same style and ability to play a big open map with big machinery, and it not be an American map, I suppose, is the other thing. Yeah, it was 5, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, yeah. Big old bunker silos. Sell point into the digesters just here, and now a digestate tank for the byproducts. Anything you sell at the biogas plant will give you your byproducts, and that's where you collect it just here. And then as we cross the road, we have our pig enclosure. True to the FS19 version, like I say, 15 we didn't have pigs. Because that was the thing I thought when 17 came out. I remember coming onto the map and this had all just been a field right up to the edge, and I'd used it quite a lot. And all of a sudden a big chunk of the field had been used up. Not that it makes a difference because we got pigs added, but what we'll do then is hop on. Buy that, which actually buys a fairly big plot, not just the pigs. Buy, sell, load or unload point is just here for the pigs. This held 400, didn't it, I think. Feed trough and water trough around the sides. Straw, I think. Yeah, I'm sure that's the straw point, isn't it? Just round there. So that's your pigs, if you want to do pigs. And I think we got the large chicken coop is the last one. Now we did have recently in the mods the SOSNOVKA chicken pen. And I'm pretty sure because this has been expanded, the original chicken pen was quite small. So I think GTX has done a bigger one. We'll back out from here. We're going to head north up towards the vegetable warehouse and the supermarket, if I remember correctly. So, on the right, just there. We've got the sell point for the vegetable warehouse. So we've gone from the pigs, up here to the vegetable warehouse, up into the sort of main town, I guess. The supermarket will be on the left, and then we're going to head down and around to the store. Village grain elevator, mill pond, bakery. We've got a few more to do. The bakery's got that amazing... I hope it's still got it. Had this amazing mural on the side of the building. This all seems a bit more open. I know they've said it's... Again, it's probably just my memory. It just seems wider and... I don't know. Maybe I imagine it. Supermarket sell point, just here. I have had in the past people ask me about sell points and what... I suppose it may be if you're new to the game, that kind of thing. How do you know what gets sold where? Well, if you go into this menu and go across to your sell points, and you go up and down your sell points on the left hand side, if you scroll across, it will tell you everything that sell point will sell. If you're not sure about what it is, I've had people in the past ask me, well, where do I sell milk? Unless there's an actual dairy sell point, where do I sell milk? Just scroll across until you get to the one that shows you milk. Then you can go up or down, and you can see all the different places where you can sell your milk at, or whatever product it may be. And I'm preaching to the converted. If you've been playing it a long time, you know that already. But it's not obvious to everyone, and if you're new to the game, you may not be aware of that at all. So we are now heading across to the top of the map, past the park. Another fuel station coming up on the left, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, the chickens used to be on the right. Potentially they're still there. There we go, another fuel point there. On the right hand side, there we go. The new and improved larger chicken pen. Just there. So, what I'll do... I could have put a load of money in and bought all these beforehand, but I wanted to start off with the 100,000 you start with. All I've done is just borrowed money. Buy that for 112, and now we've got the chickens available. Feed trough just on the side there. Buy and sell point just here. And our egg spawn point. I miss the old days of actually going in and collecting the eggs, when the eggs would be like they are there, and you went along and collected all the eggs, and you would have an egg total that would rack up, and then you would just go and sell those eggs. Don't get me wrong, I love the fact when we got the egg boxes that spawned, and that was a real jump forward. It was, oh, this is fantastic, we can collect egg boxes, but there is, there was something cool about going and collecting the individual eggs, especially when they laid them on the ground in amongst the grass, and you had to kind of go and find them. But those little things I haven't thought about in absolutely ages, and then coming back on here, all that, like I say, all those memories come flooding back. Oh wow, yeah, I forgot we did that, and this was different, and we couldn't do this, and we can do that, and it's amazing. So on our left, we're coming up on the main store. This was my test map and my mod review map on FS17 for quite a long time, because it had a nice big open area here, so when the vehicles spawned, it was quite easy and handy to put vehicles out and lay them out for doing a mod review and that kind of thing. Spent a lot of time doing mod reviews on here. Awesome. So, these are very chunky lines here on some of them, aren't they? So our sell point, repair, customise point is just here. Our buy point, if you're not using it from your main trigger, from your main tablet, is just in here. Now, vehicles used to spawn inside and outside. I know the reset point is definitely here because I've tested that. So your vehicles will reset here. And that's your main store. Like I say, when you do spawn things, there's plenty of room out here. And access, isn't an issue whichever direction you go. What we're going to do now is head to the village grain elevator. Now the village grain elevator has had a bit of an upgrade because we've got a buy point, purchase point at the village grain elevator that never used to exist. So we'll cut across here to the village grain elevator. The sell point is up the ramp directly ahead of us, but just to the left we've got some additions. So that's the sell point just up on there. But what we've got here, we've got livestock supplies and we've got farm supplies. If you go to livestock supplies, you can buy pig food, oats, corn and total mixed ration. If you go to the farm supplies, to that side, it will allow you to buy fertiliser, lime and seed. I did try, I went and got a fertiliser sprayer and a front tank. I couldn't get a trigger to come up for liquid fertiliser or herbicide, so all I know is for definite at the moment you can get fertiliser, lime and seed there, but I'm not sure about liquid fertiliser or herbicide. I couldn't get the trigger to work personally, but it may be because you can't buy it there, but I don't want to rule it out completely. Maybe it might have just been the equipment I was using, potentially. So where are we now? We've come down past the chickens to the shop. We're now at the village grain elevator. We're going to whiz across to the mill pond, which is kind of like Lumberyard as well. And then we've got the animal dealer, bakery, and then I think we head back down towards the main farm. I think we're almost done on a route round. There are whole chunks of this that I haven't shown. The forest in the middle here, we've got tracks that lead across. I showed you the bridge here and the little ford across here. There's loads of tracks and some forestry across the middle section, sort of raised, not mountain as such, but which if you come across the top there brings you to the garden centre, which we have had a look at. And I haven't been all the way down the side here, but we will kind of do part of that as we come down. Some very narrow fields down the side there, which if I recall correctly I spent hours and hours doing potato harvests on. Brilliant. So after having Bjornholm drop the other day and me being very pleased with the fact that mill pond was still a thing again on the Bjornholm map, I'm pleased to report that on SOSNOVKA the mill pond is still a thing on here as well, which is absolutely amazing. Now unlike on the mill ponds originally where as soon as you throw anything into it you got paid, you'd get the cha-ching, you know, up would come the money. You now have the triggers, but here at the mill pond sell point we have the hazard marked area here. If you tip in here from a trailer, or if you want to throw in manually logs or whatever you want to do, they go into there. If we come over to this and you click L3, you will then get paid for whatever went into the mill pond. So we do have a functioning mill pond on SOSNOVKA as well. Very happy about that. From here we're going to head up to Livestock Market and then the bakery. Yes, I think it has. I can see the mural on the wall. So, Livestock Market is just here. If you want to buy and deliver your own animals, come and collect them, buy them, take them yourself, you can do it directly from here. And then moving a bit further on, we come to the bakery sell point. Look at that. That always just amazed me. I don't think it was on 15, but on 17 it was. Amazing. I love that that's still there. It would have been so easy to just leave it off and just put a plain texture on. So bakery sell point is just here. Oh, hang on a minute. Maybe that's not. Hang on, we've got two. Okay, now I'm confused. Do I have separate sell points then? That's odd. Sorry, that has confused me. Bakery. Does pretty much everything up at the bakery. But then there's a milk one. Oh, maybe the milk one is separate then. Whoa, that went squeaky. Yeah, separate. That's interesting. Doesn't show us two separate sell points on the map. But anyway, well, there are two sell points then. So what we'll do now is just head out to the outside. Hang on, what is happening? Okay, so eggs and milk are separate sell points then. So whilst it says at the bakery all the things sell there, they are actually separate sell points. Well, that was, I'm glad I noticed that on the way through. Anyway, let's cut across this way. Head back down to the main farm, and that's the map. Like I say, there are a few bits I've kind of missed out. If you're new to it, it's a cracking map. It's fantastic. The conversion over by GTX has been really nicely done. Again, there's enough new and enough changes and texture things and graphics and that kind of make it more FS19-ish, and obviously with the option with placeables and things you can do now, that's all fantastic. There's also enough been left on here as it was for that nostalgia feel if you want to come on and, you know, relive your SOSNOVKA days, if you want to do that. There we go. Back to the main farm, where we started. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.